What's up YouTube? My name is Reactor Evol, and today I'm going to be reacting to a video that concerns more of the Spider-Man and Disney Marvel kind of a struggle that they have to keep Spider-Man in the Marvel universe versus Sony just keeping it. There are YouTubers that have said that, oh my goodness, there's hope, or oh no, there's no hope. The thing is, I haven't really seen any articles that suggest most definitively that Spider-Man is going to be back in the Marvel Comics universe. There's some kind of confusing jargon. Okay, so I'm not ready to react to either of those YouTubers or the YouTubers that I kind of noticed they had words about it. But yeah, before it becomes commonplace, I'm not going to go there. But what I did find a different video that talked about Stan Lee's daughter has harsh words for Disney after Spidey loss. So just based on the title, I haven't seen this video at all. This is going to be like a first reaction. Looking back on my previous video, I talked about how, looking at the perceptions of Sony, looking at it through Sony's perspective and looking at it through Marvel's perspective has its merits, and it's important to look at it that way because, this is also a business to think about. And I go into a lot more detail. It's like a 20+ minute video, so I'm not going to talk more about it. But looking at this title, Stan Lee's daughter has harsh words for Disney after Spidey loss. That might speak to what I was trying to say, even before this video came out. So maybe I'm on the right track here. Maybe I'm not saying I'm right and everyone else is wrong, but I feel like it's important to take a step back and try, because I love Spider-Man also, try to look at things a little less emotionally, just trying to look at it from Sony's point of view, from Disney's point of view, and then look at the people who work there, or people who used to work there. In this case, Stan Lee's daughter, Stan Lee, he passed. The daughter is probably the daughter's probably the one that can most speak for him. So without further ado, we're going to get started. All right, hope you enjoy this video. Shout out to Looper once again. I like your videos. The quality's good. You're pretty quick on your feet, So without further ado, let's get started. Ooh, fighting words. I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to the fighting words. She said power play. I didn't use power play. I didn't use those choice of words, but ooh, I said something similar. I said something similar from the things that Disney did wrong, Okay, power play to score full control. I have that poster. I have a poster of that image. Multiple points of view. Okay, for Disney's point of view, for Sony's point of view and all that, I feel like the points that she's making here, I think those are being played out right now, like Sony's point of view has been played out. And, because we've had multiple reboots and all that. And then on the other hand, you got Disney, who, I intend to talk about kind of the last parts of the Avengers kind of together, like when you have like Infinity War and Endgame, because the level of layering that Marvel pulled off with the 22 film, I don't even know what to call it, series. That's a hell of a series, and so like the amount of layering that went into that was ridiculous. And so to have Spidey in there kind of from the middle to the end, in terms of timeline, it gave us an opportunity to see what it's like to have Spider-Man interact with Tony Stark, to have Spider-Man interact with some of the other characters like Captain America and all that. So what Marvel pulled off was amazing, and I don't think it's something that Sony can pull off to nearly the same degree as Disney can, especially since there's a perceived almost animosity towards towards Sony because of their decision. But anyway, let's go on. This is a delicate situation. You have Stan Lee, who passed away. She's talking about her father. This could be kind of a grieving kind of thing. I don't want to, I'm not trying to attack her. I'm not trying to say like, oh, she's just being emotional. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is that the shortcomings of Stan Lee and the Disney relationship, it is prominent. The imperfections are prominent, and that in the end, none of them could have been treated worse. No one could have treated Stan Lee worse than Marvel and Disney. Like, that says a lot about Disney. You know, if you look at my previous video, it talks about how, you know, the business side of things, how Disney's just trying to expand. And based on what she's saying, they don't really seem to care about the consequences of, you know, Disney's actions. And, you know, I feel like we should perceive this more, or at least less about Sony's actions and maybe a little more about Disney's actions. You know what I'm saying? And the actors and all that who are emotionally pleading for Sony to be like, hey, please, give us Spider-Man so we can, you know, utilize him. It's like, maybe you guys need to kind of look in the mirror, you know, with all this, and kind of, you know, look at their perspective and see what you can do instead of hoping that Sony does it, you know. Anyway, let's go. That's a good point. Like, they didn't have to do that. Disney, Marvel didn't have to do that. Okay, so it could be kind of a grieving thing. Maybe she is thinking about particular people that we're not aware of. Or maybe she saw like minimal situations, or she saw situations like outside, you know, behind closed doors, where she felt like Disney wasn't treating him with enough respect. But yeah, let's look at this now. I mean, if that's true, why didn't you reach out to, you know, his daughter? You know, he was busy producing a hell of a film, but you can't even do like a text message, you can't even do like a phone call, you know, like, you know, her father passed away, and not only that, her father was an icon. So, come on, you know, Disney, you're kind of the standard in terms of business, but you need to be a little better on that end, you know? It's a good quote. I mean, I think that's kind of, with what Sony's saying, we're disappointed, but respect decisions. I mean, I can kind of see it both ways, to where I feel like they're both wrong here. You know, Disney's wrong for making that power trip, right? And then Sony's wrong for, well, is Sony wrong? I mean, they wanted the continuation of Spider-Man as we perceive it, you know? But it's wrong on their end, in the sense that they should have expected, you know, Disney to also protect their own brand. You know, they don't want their, you know, they don't want Feige to be all like, to be shared. I feel like that sounds kind of like PR nonsense. You know, like, I mean, obviously he has more, he has a lot of responsibilities in Marvel, but at the same time, if MCU and Sony were partnered, are we really going to believe that Feige would be too busy to work, you know, would be too busy to work on that film? I just don't buy it, you know? So that sounds just like PR. And that's what Looper said a couple of days ago, which is what I was reacting to. Woo, the ad said 3,000. You know, Tobey Maguire movies, I enjoyed his movies. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, that's like a pretty obvious thing. You know, in terms of superheroes, Marvel is much more qualified, much less limited to making Spider-Man like an innovative, having an innovative take on it, you know, versus Sony, who's basically had reboots that look very similar, you know, except, you know, obviously different actors, but his personality, his mannerisms, all that stuff, they were pretty similar to each other. And it was limited in the sense that you didn't really have Spider-Man having, you know, working with other superheroes that much, whereas, you know, Marvel used Spider-Man's character as like as a immature teenager to have character development through the mentorship of Tony Stark, who's been there since the beginning, and, you know, the growth and then the bonds that were developed with the different heroes, mainly Tony Stark, but you get what I'm saying. And those are some of the things that Sony, I don't see them being able to pull that off nearly as well as Marvel does. Marvel has done. Let's keep going. Okay, that's good that that isn't final. Maybe some of the YouTubers that, are like, oh, there's still hope. Maybe they have a point, so maybe I should watch one of their videos and see and give a take on that. Okay. I mean, most definitely. I think Looper said in one of their previous videos that Spider-Man that when Disney wanted to increase their offer, they said, oh, we want to change from 5% of first gross to 50% of everything. And then Sony didn't really answer the call, but they made a statement. You know, they made their statement, and then, you know, you have your outcry. Good job, fans. Good job, Spider-Man fans. And because of that, I can imagine Sony was really scared, you know, because what if they decide to make a film? Is anyone going to really watch it? Especially with this outcry, especially with this reaction. So their cash cow, as I coined it in my previous video about this, you know, they don't join, you know, with Marvel with Spider-Man, it might not be their cash cow anymore. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, Sony. So now they're going back to the table because they feel like they don't have a choice. So good job, fans. Let's go. Oh, yeah, okay. So to have Holland act in both universes, that's pretty cool. Okay. So the video's over. I feel like, I'm not sure how I feel about Stan Lee's daughter's harsh words. The example that Looper used to kind of, not necessarily refute what she said, it isn't entirely true. Not completely refute, but only slightly refuted. Just because Feige reached out about not really believing he's really gone. Like, I don't really know what the context of that is. If that was just like a Twitter account that, but I mean, what happens to just giving, Stan Lee's daughter a message saying, I feel like in terms of being classy, I feel like Disney was kind of lacking in that respect. So I can understand Stan Lee's daughter being harsh about that because Stan Lee gave everything. He gave a lot to Disney and to us all, So for them not to say, hey man, or hey, really sorry about the loss, we feel if there's anything we can do, what would you like to do? Because you're just as much a part of our organization as Stan Lee. I mean, I don't know how much he's done actually, so, but I feel like they should have done more. I feel like they should have done more for Stan Lee's daughter, and besides Feige being all like, hey, I mean, I can't even tell that he's gone. It's hard to tell that he's gone, and I think it's great that the fans are strong enough for them to come back to the table and to see if they can come up with a better deal, because that's actually something that I think I recommended. I'm not saying that because they saw my video. I mean, I don't I think I have like 1 subscriber. So, and I really doubt that that's Disney or Sony, but I'm really glad that they're going back to the table to talk this out. So anyway, I'm Reactor of All. If you guys have other things that you want me to react to, let me know. Like and subscribe. You guys have a wonderful day. Don't let anything hold you back, all right? Peace.